Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be going over and checking out the pen tool. Short code is P, and the description says mix and changes parts or shapes with anchor points and handles. So let's get on it. So for this demonstration, I'll be using this cup that I snapped sometimes earlier in our lessons. Let's just brighten it up a little so that we actually see what we are doing. So the way the pen tool works is you draw a select. You can use it to draw precise selections around objects that you want. So to start, you choose it the pen tool, or just press P on your keyboard. Click down on an angle, move up to another angle, and click to another angle, and click to another angle, and click. Alright, so that is the way it works. Now, if you want to make a selection, just do Ctrl Z, and you have it in mind that you will come back and modify the selection, because as you can see, we have straight lines and curved lines here. So when you start your selecting at the base, by the time you go to the next point and click, hold and drag out. There's a reason for this. These are anchor points, and you will come and manipulate these points to make your selections more precise later on. So just continue to go click. Oh, I forgot to drag that out. This time you make a click, just drag it out a little, because we might still come back there to fine tune our selections. And that is how I do it, to avoid stories that touch. Just drag it out a little and come to this point, to drag in, come, little drag in. So like I said, all this is just to make sure that when you finally come back to fine tune your selections, it makes it easier for you. Yeah, so our selection is closed out now. So when you come here and left click, Ctrl Z. When you come here, hold Control and left click, it's going to bring out these arms. It's going to bring out the arms. So if you are going to tweak your selection, as I'm doing, when you hold down Shift, it moves both arms, and that is not what we are going to be doing, because even though this curve is trying to move around to the edge of the curve, the straight line we drew here is also being affected. So in this case, you go and hold Alt key down and left click, then drag one part. So the Alt will work on one part of your arms, while if you hold Shift, it's going to work on both arms. So that is how that works, and you go around it until you make your full selection. Alright, let's continue on to the next one, which is the freeform pen tool. And like it has said, it's freeform. You can draw your selection around the object you are trying to select. And if you zoom in closer, you will see anchor points have been created for you, where you can now come and modify as you would like to. So and that is how it works. All right, let's move on to the next tool here, which is the curvature pen tool. And as stated, let's even read the description: makes or changes paths or shapes using points. So let's start our click from here. Watch what happens when I click on the next part here. And here you can see, because it's a curvature point tool, the first one was straight. By the time I came here and it discovered that I was going around the circle, now bending the curves for me automatically, instead of waiting for me to make points and editing it later. So it has curved it automatically for us, and that is how the curvature pen tool works. All right, let's move on to the next one. Add anchor points, delete anchor points. These ones would actually not be necessary, because by holding or clicking on the pen tool here, you can add and delete. But for the sake of demonstrations, let's just go through them. Add anchor points, and you can see I've added it. Now let's come here, delete anchor points, and click here, and you have deleted the anchor points. So the last one here, what this one does, convert point tool. When I come here, you can see we have a rounded edge here. When I come here and click on that rounded edge, let's see, okay. It's going to sharpen the edges. Let's find another place. Let me click here. You can see that's what it does. It sharpens the edges. Let's say we have a rounded edge here, and I come here and let's first add an anchor point. Let's first create an anchor point, add anchor point. Let me put one here on that rounded edge. Then let's go back to the convert points tool, and you see what it does. It's going to sharpen it into a point, and that is what that does. So let's come to the last one here, which is the convert anchor point. Yeah. So let's assume, okay, before that, let's create one here. Let's add an anchor point here. So we have an anchor point there. So let's come down to convert anchor point. You can see the anchor point created has a rounded edge. So let's put our cursor here and click down with the convert anchor point, and you can see it's going to sharpen the edges, as you have seen here. When you look at the diagram, you can see a sharp edge here. If we click down here to on all the surrounding edges, it attempts to sharpen them. Okay, now let's create one here. Let's go and add an anchor point here. Let me add one here and drag it out. Then go back to our convert anchor point and just come up here and we just drag it out and click, and you can see to sharpen it, bring both sides to a point, to a sharp point, and that is what the convert point does. If you like this presentation, click the subscribe button below and follow for more. Thank you.